What a beautiful city that is right there on the water. Some might even say city on the sea. But this is IEM Shanghai, the Intel Extreme Masters, and things are just getting a little heated as we go over our first winners match, a best of three, wherein which we did see Mirage go in the way of HellRaisers. My name is Trey Saranthus. I'm running this ship, but of course on the ship are my mates. I'm not just going to say like one of you the first mate or anything. That's kind of weird, but more so we've got Blair, we've got Pimp. Guys, how do we start to dissect this matchup?
I mean, I wouldn't say it was kind of as expected. I think HellRaisers were way more dominant than we initially would have thought. I did expect NRG to put up a better fight, especially Cirque as well. You said it in the pregame that Mirage is not one of the most comfortable maps. They may have picked wrong in not going with Dust 2 in that sense. But overall, you would expect NRG to come out stronger against the team with a stand-in. And I think it's a little bit disappointing to see them not, picking up the pace after the major failure that it was not qualifying.
Yeah, it kind of felt like to me that NRG were playing a little bit too placid for my liking, and they were just getting completely outthought, I'd say, by Angel, who was going for very fast hits. And it kind of felt like there was never any point in time in the first half, especially where they had any control, any map control whatsoever, right? They were playing too scared. And if you give HellRaisers that opportunity to get in so deep into a site, they had B apps control almost all the time. They had Palace control, they had mid control half the time as well. If you give so much space for Angel and his team to work with, it's always going to be a pain in the butt.
Nice.
Yeah, pain in the butt.
Very eloquently said, I think, to say the least. But I guess the one real benefit here is this is a best of three, right? So we don't necessarily have that sort of random card. NRG aren't out of hot water by any means. They're going to have to look a lot stronger going into this next map. It's going to be Overpass.
Last time these two teams played Overpass, it was a 16-3 win for NRG, so a complete washout of HellRaisers. And as you also said in the pregame, it's not one of the strongest map HellRaisers that is. It's a map they can play, but with the absence of Voxix, which I feel is pretty much the only weapon on Overpass to be a constant annoyance running around, Angel can't do it all by himself. Without Voxix Fets instead, it's going to be a tough one for them to turn the ship around. That said, though, if NRG is not coming out swinging in this one, it could go to HellRaisers, because I feel the big thing for NRG in this one is getting Cirque fired up. He's the main man on this map. He's the guy, again, constantly being an annoyance running around, and if he's having a bad game, then this could be NRG's end in this game.
Which is exactly what we just saw. We saw slow to little of perhaps not even a real start from Cirque right there.
It's also kind of like he didn't really have the money to get the op most of the times driving the CT side. It was like the money getting broken all the time. So, I mean, I do agree with you. Cirque needs to really step up over here. But here's the thing with HellRaisers. They're playing a pretty interesting style of CS. They're not really playing, crazy structure or anything. They're kind of free-flowing, doing whatever the hell they want. And that kind of makes them very unpredictable. Because bear in mind, they don't have Woxic, but Fetz can op. He can frag. You have Issa, who's been actually, before Woxic really stepped up, he was a star player for this team as well, right? So I think, just looking at the way it's going right now, although it's a 2-1 to NRG, it's looking a little shaky here.
Shaky is one way that you could describe it, but also this next map is going to be NRG's pick. So this could be very much a situation where we see it level out and come back to a best of one. They put us in a best of one scenario at the very end of the series.
Could be. I said, I think NRG has to step it up a bit, and I think it's still a wounded animal. I feel what we saw at the minor, the major qualifier, you're right, it was a fluke in the sense that they should have won it. But I also think that this team has hit its peak now. Like, we've seen NRG at their best now, and we're going to see them if they can re-find themselves and redefine themselves in a situation where they really face back against the wall. I don't think that's going to be the case, though. I think NRG is a little bit wounded by this one. Missing the major was a big deal for them, and probably they have never been so big favorites to going into a major before, and still missing out is something that, at least mentally, for a player like these guys on this level, is going to be a tough one to swallow. And I think,
but it kind of sucks as well, right? I mean, like, you kind of expect these guys. Look at this tournament, right? I mean, this is a team who's made deep runs in much bigger events, and you have the likes of VP who's struggling right now, Gambit who look very lost, and you have when your favorites in a tournament are Tai Lu, one of the favorites, that means this is an event you should be winning. And if you have that mentality, if you're mentally that weak, I agree with you. You shouldn't be this weak, mentally speaking, especially at this level.
That's the point.
That's the sad part.
A mentality.
I mean, you know about about a winning mentality, right, Race?
Yeah, I mean, you never give up, never surrender, never quit. Kind of like these guys right here. Even though they did kind of handedly take that first map on Mirage, you can see right now HellRaisers are actually actively going over strategies. Whereas even towards the end of this matchup, I don't want to say they were lacking heart, but you could just see a defeated energy. These guys were just slightly deflated. You saying the word placid is very much the truth. I mean, it's a very tranquil place over there.
It's one of those things where NRG has never been as good as they are right now. None of the players have ever played at this level. None of the players have ever been ranked top 8 in the entire world, which in itself is a great accomplishment, right? None of them have ever been placed top 8 and now has to like redefine themselves and find out how do we stop plateauing from here? How do we move even further into the rankings? Whereas right now, NRG are constantly constantly trying something new, you know. They've never been as good as they were. Now they've never been in a situation where they were as good and now is this bad, you know. So they have to redefine themselves and figure out what are we really made of in terms of mentality and how we approach the game. It's tough to get to the top, right? But it's even tougher to stay at it.
Absolutely.
At the top, right?
Like the second you start getting noticed, the second you start getting some wins and being noticed by the better teams, that's when everyone's going to start studying you. I remember Tai Lu and Malmo when they showed up and destroyed SK. They struggled for a year after that, even making a dent in any event. And I think NRG is having that issue right now. I don't think they need. I kind of feel like they need a leader figure. I'm not saying an in-game leader, so to speak, but someone like a Zonic, so to speak, is out there saying, "It's all right, boys. Just." It's okay. Just move on. You can always get better. I think that's that mentality. That's that thing. Being their worst or their own worst enemy. That's something they need to conquer. And they need to conquer it really fast because this tournament's not going to really care.
Well, even if you take in the perspective like a coach or even a manager stepping into that place and saying like, "Hey guys, kick it up, step it up." It's on that player also to believe in the program right there and drink the Kool-Aid and say, "Hey guys, we're not out of the fight yet. This is still a best of 3. We might have lost the first map and maybe a convincing fashion, but also we do have our map choice coming up, which is going to be Overpass."
Which is going to be Overpass, a map that on paper should be a fairly easy win for NRG. And we're going to remain to see how strong they mentally are. As said before, NRG pretty much ever since they added on Cirque to the lineup and added on, I think it was Ethan who came in from CLG back then, almost 7 months ago. Like they haven't faced any struggles. They have been getting better and better and better all the time. This is the first time they face a real struggle. This is the first time they stagnate and maybe even go back in their process. So we're going to have to see what they're made of. And our loss to HellRaisers 2-0 right here with a stand-in is not going to tell us, anything good for their behalf.
That is a feels bad, man, 100%. But, guys, I'm going to count to 3. You're going to tell me who you think takes this map. 3, 2, 1.
HellRaisers.
All right, cool. We have a house divided. We have about 3 seconds to get into the action, and that's just about all I need to tell you. The HellRaisers are about to close this out in 2. That is not my professional opinion. It's just something I kind of thought I'd throw in there. Either way, let's get over to the casters. It's going to be Harriet, and it's going to be Snods. Take it away, guys.
Harriet.
Thank you very much for that one, Trace. Eloquent as ever over on the desk. And yeah, HellRaisers versus NRG. Map number 2, HellRaisers currently sitting 1-0 up in this series after a quick victory on Mirage. Now, they don't want to overpass this opportunity up. And, they could take this 2-0 versus NRG. Kind of a team that a lot of people kind of had pegged as favorites heading into this event.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, especially when you consider as well, coming off of what could be their career worst defeat at the Minors, they have something to prove at this event. And the complete opposite for HellRaisers into this matchup where only, a week, 2 weeks ago, they win this CIS major. Their star players having issues making it to the event, so they have someone sub in. So in terms of pressure, there's none there. They can play relaxed. And that could be used to their advantage. As into the pistol round already. It's going to be the CT side from HellRaisers. Obviously, it is the map pick from NRG, so HellRaisers get to choose which side they start on. So can they continue the momentum they had on that former map? At a point, they were 15-6 up.
Oh, well, things get a bit awkward down towards short. Cirque finds himself a quick double. He's someone who struggled over on Mirage. Of course, he's one of the big names within this NRG squad. So hitting the ground running here on Overpass. Fugly and Cirque dismantle the rest of this B-bomb site hold, leaving Dead Fox in a 1v4. That's a lot to ask of just one man. And he has been spotted out over here toward Graffiti. His time should be pretty limited left on this earth. He's going to get finished off by Fugly. As between him and Cirque, they lock into pistol round for NRG.
And this is what NRG need as well. Cirque getting comfortable into the pistol round already. 3 frags for him, and that's pretty much half of the kills he got in the first half of that last map on Mirage. And there it was. Pivotal frags to find as well. They had the bait set up from HellRaisers towards B short. Issa gets the first frag in towards the B short tunnel. And it's set up there, I believe, for Dead Fox or for Bondic to basically shoot NRG in the side of the head. But Cirque with the 180 headshots him and basically takes out that threat instantaneously. As now into round number 2 will be the MAC-10s, the Kalashnikovs as well for the buy from NRG as they try to go 2-0 up.
Well, over here towards short, things don't exactly go as planned. These MAC-10s not faring too well at range. The AK of Fugly going to work hard to reclaim back that man advantage, but Angel swift on the trade. And suddenly, blink of an eye, Fugly and Daps left alive here, 2 versus 3. Desperate to try and find the conversion here on the back of that pistol round victory. The first that we've seen NRG have in this best of 3 to date. And now they might not be able to convert these anti-ecos, but they're going to be helped out massively by Angel.
I believe he was trying to rotate from the CT stairs in towards heaven, exactly where Fetz is there, and died. My goodness. If there's a silver lining for NRG, it's that play right there from Angel. 2 versus 1, as he has no Kevlar, has no weapon in his primary hand. And it is just down to the Deagle. No defuse good as well here, Harry. So as time does tick down, his main implication can be to try and take some weapons out of the hand from NRG and dent their economy as much as possible.
My goodness, what a quick shot on a Daps. But yeah, you imagine you won't be able to find the defuse, but he might find that much more damage. There should be rifles inside of that site for him to save, so he's going to look to try and hang around and get his hands on one of these. NRG, they find it the conversion, but it gets very, very dicey, and you feel like a lot of it comes off the back of Angel offering up his services and you know, realizing that gravity is the harshest mistress of them all. NRG, a second round at 2 their name. They find themselves the anti-eco, now a shot at taking a quick 3-0 lead here on their map pick. And that's exactly what we need to see.
Oh, this is it, yeah, I was right. From those CT stairs down towards heaven, and that fall.
Happens to the best of us, though.
Exactly,
You know?
exactly.
If you think you're having a bad day in MM, remember the time that Angel threw away potentially what could have been a forced buy win in map 2 of the series, in which they already one map up in.
Well, it's going to be the quad man boost in towards B short from HellRaisers, pulling out all the tricks possible. Catching Daps off guard, but couldn't quite capitalize off of that play. Dead Fox got a bit scared there when he didn't land that initial first headshot, and will fall back here towards the B side. So NRG know that, you know, at best, there's one player here with the USP towards the A side from HellRaisers. They're going to spot him out as well. Dead Fox has telegraphed exactly where he is. For NRG now, clean, clinical round as they charge up towards Banana, heading and approaching towards the A side. You would imagine.
Yeah, you're going to hope so. And, well, Fugly, he looks to try and, yeah, keep the Counter-Strike the way it should be. Maybe Fate's going to throw this whole round into chaos, though, with that 1D. Daps is actually flanked all the way around behind. So, and he's in the air, tapping away at Bondic. Third round for NRG. They keep 4 players alive, only losing Fugly in the fray. As now the buy comes in for HellRaisers.
3-0 here for the North Americans on their T side, and Overpass, Inferno, formerly as well Cobblestone. These are maps that used to be so snowbally in a sense of if you win that T-side pistol, you win that first bar, and you can get off to a massive lead on your T-side, because if you deny the CT's orbs, a double orb setup or utility to hold off towards mid or for the retakes towards B and A, it is a map which you can snowball your advantage. And here they come, though, charging and plowing through it towards the B side.
Ace is playing it round the pillar. He has to try and be the linchpin, but him and Angel both toppled almost immediately. It means that this attempt at the bonus round from NRG might just pan out. Fades and Dead Fox left, and you can already see they're backing away. They're looking dubious at the idea. And they will look to hold on to these rifles. Money going to continue to build up for NRG. And I mean, you mentioned the kind of snowballiness of this map. Well, now that's going to hold even more true as they start to build up a bank over on this T side. And at the same time, tear away at the HellRaisers CT economy.
Dead Fox and Fetz trying their best to stay alive and salvage their weaponry into the 5th round. Orb from Fetz and the M4 as well from Dead Fox. In terms of cash, they won't have enough to drop over those M4s. They're $200 away from being able to drop over some M4s to their teammates. So from that, HellRaisers may just concede this round, take it on the chin, and go for a quasi. Obviously, with the 4-round loss bonus, $2,900, they can just go for CZs, Kevlar. If they lose this round, they're going to be onto the maximum round loss bonus, $3,500. So they can actually buy a fair bit here. Utility, upgraded pistols, Kevlar as well. And they can actually recycle that orb towards A, towards B, if they want to get aggressive early with it.
Well, Dead Fox already gone in fast for the attempted control of mid. No one actually here to keep an eye on him. Just yet, Breezy starts to peel off the angle. Now Cirque has to keep an eye on it. Dead Fox pressures on to find a man advantage. Gonna try and rotate away, and Breezy makes that look easy over in mid. That's the one rifle that they had. A drop now, it's just Fates' AWP in hand to try and keep HellRaisers in this round.
Aggression towards B short from HellRaisers as they continuously gain map control and real estate towards the B half of the map. This should allow for the rotation of Fetz's AWP towards the A side, also as well Bondic potentially to go towards A. Back up the defense there from Angel. However, NRG have control towards Connector, and it's such a linchpin piece or pivotal piece of your T side because it allows for the very short rotations back and forth towards B and A. So if NRG do spot something a bit peculiar towards the A side, which is going to be 4 players stacked there from HellRaisers, they can do a 180, run back down towards Connector with a swift pace and get on towards that B side fast.
That's actually a missed smoke there from HellRaisers as well. The one smoke they had. He's going to try and use it anyway. Plays up close on the other side. Only 15 seconds here. So as they get up close to these pistols, chaos going to be ensuing. It's Fates. The smite down 2 with the AWP. Bomb plant does look to go down. Ooh. Fates is absolutely unreal though. He's on for the ace, and just one more kill he left to get. Misses the shot, and Fugly gonna save the day for NRG. 5th round of their name as they manage to get that one by the skin of their teeth. It's Fugly leading the charge for NRG, currently sitting 8-1, top of the board. But now the buy comes through for HellRaisers, bearing in mind that was just the partial buy. And Fates can be back on that AWP.
A statement round there from Fates. Obviously, coming into this event, there's so much talk about his replacement of Woxic. Can he deliver to the same sort of firepower and numbers on the scoreboard? And he needs a round like this early on into the tournament to build up that confidence, to build up that momentum, and to try and silence the critics. So, he's looking warmed up. Cirque as well is looking good. This could be a, not Battle of the Fates, but a Battle of the AWPers.
Yeah, it certainly looks to be the case. And, you know, now that we have Cirque bringing out the AWP over on the side of NRG, we're going to get to see that clash go head-to-head. Now, for those of you who are just joining us, Cirque did not have the performance of a lifetime over on Mirage. He struggled quite a bit, but now he looks to try and switch things up here on NRG's map pick. And this will certainly be the time to do it. Now, this is going to be a nice counter to this boost from HellRaisers. You're going to have all the pressure onto Bondic. The other two get caught a little bit out of position, but Bondic's holding his own. Angel's going to manage one more. That's the bomb dropped, and Fugly, doing what he can, keeps trying to answer back. But the bomb being dropped out in the open going to cause some problems. That molly misses its mark slightly, and as a result, Angel's gotten by it. Fugly left in a 1v3. And while he has been fantastic thus far for NRG, now he's got to go above and beyond, and it's just not happening. HellRaisers able to find themselves their first round.
And finding it rather confidently as well. A typical issue you can have on your CT side is if you're versus a team that has that 5-0 lead or that 3-0 lead where you win your first buy round, you win it with 1 player surviving, 2 players surviving, so your cash has never really built up at that point. And then you go on to get reset. And that could pretty much signal the end of the first half here for HellRaisers. If they do lose that, this could be a 8-1 scoreline essentially if HellRaisers do get reset. But let's see if they can try avoid that. Aggression towards B shot from NRG as they wait for the flashbang from Angel's teammate. As we've lost connection, but we haven't lost hope. That's the main thing here, Harry.
Imagine flashbanging someone so hard you drop the whole server from working.
Exactly.
My goodness, what a flash that was. I believe that was thrown in
still
from
playing,
Bondic.
yeah. So obviously we can try and gauge the round from the faces of NRG.
Okay, no, I like that. That's a good idea. Okay.
The problem is though, all these players have such stern faces and stern looks on their faces.
They certainly do. That's
a little bit of action there from Fetz, obviously swiping the keyboard. Imagine some crazy flicks coming out from him so far. Acer obviously still alive and kicking, looking very focused, probably holding a very important angle on that CT side. And my God, Bondic, I wouldn't want to be peeking him right now.
Certainly not. You can see NRG, I mean, they've lost a couple of men early on. They
Daps is out of the round,
Yeah, they're sitting 3v5. You can tell that right now. They're trying to claw their way back into this. Cirque's trying, but it's just not happening. He's flicking around, doing all he can.
Oh, sort of a flash on his screen as well. Brizzy dying and giving information, so it seems like the assault towards the site, don't know which one it is currently underway, as flashbangs going all over the screen from Brizzy, signifying a retake from HellRaisers.
Yeah, they're trying all they can. And here are some old highlights from the past. We're going to continue trying to read the state of the game based on these faces. I mean, we can see Fates there.
So, obviously this was the round here from Fets that really sent a message to HellRaisers that don't be messing with them too hard. Did get 3 kills, nearly the 4th as well. You know, when you do go for the 4 kills, apologies. Very close to the ace in that round, Harry, but obviously when you do quick scope with the AWP, it does lose a little bit of his accuracy, so it looked like he had his crosshair on the head of that last player from NRG, but couldn't quite get the, ironic, RNG in his favor.
Yeah,
I think it's the new round. Dead Fox is buying grenades.
Still, one of the things that I think Fate's going to be very interesting watching him play within this squad. HellRaisers, of course, I mean, Shanghai as a city, always been very kind to them when they were here for the SLI League Invitational. They placed 3rd there. I think they lost out to VP in the semi-finals, if my memory holds correct. They bested Heroic to come 3rd. In an exciting 3rd place decider match. And that was with Fates playing. Once again, Woxic couldn't attend then either. They had Zero stand in. Fates almost kind of taken his place in that sense, as now being this kind of tenuous link to the team who was once a part of it and now subs in every now and again for them. But as we've kind of highlighted on, this is for him kind of his method of advertising himself, like what we've seen from Croman or Exist. If you think back to both of their tenures within FaZe, it was a chance to show that they still have what it takes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you could argue this is one of the worst positions to be in because for Fets, he's putting up numbers. He is doing a good job here for HellRaisers, especially in an event like this as well, where you're not having your Astralises, your FaZe clans that are at this event, which are going to steamroll you in those early matchups if you come in with the lower seed. Instead, he is versus the Tier 2 competition, and he can put up and perform to a higher level, potentially get those big 25 frag, 30 frag matches and sell himself, as we said. The problem is, though, you can be in the worst position here. You're the sub for the team, so you're always going to be called in when there's roster issues, but you're never going to be in the practice area or, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, in scrims, in practice, never going to be roped in fully to the team, so it makes things a bit, frustrating almost that you're not breaking through as a player in this current climate.
Yeah, well, so we've tried our hardest to cast off of their faces. It's just not happening. Something is, has broken. We're going to go ahead and throw this one over to a quick break, and then hopefully we'll be back with the remainder of map number 2. Counter-Strike fans around the world rejoice. We are back, and the scoreline is 6-3. It was 5-1 when we departed with HellRaisers finding their first rifle round. Clearly, they've had a bit more success since then, and we're back in it to this one. Fate's already looking to try and blow hearts and minds early on as he drops Fugly from the server, leaving NRG in a 3v5.
So far, the double up setup from HellRaisers, both Fets and Dead Fox finding a frag apiece. So that expensive, costly double up setup right now paying its dividends back slowly. As Dead Fox, backed up by Angel as well towards the default side, is going to be going for some re-aggression here towards Banana, but may be caught in a hard place here towards mid.
Best shot from Dead Fox, and that's given them a foot in the door, but Angel is clean to shut them out for good. Actually going to fall at the hands of Ethan, so NRG clawing their way back into this round. The Molotov starts to heat things up there. The bomb looks to go down. There's only 8 seconds, and Ethan's come off of it, and now Cirque left in a 1v2. There's no time, and he's forced to back away. Doesn't want to fall after the timer, so he's able to hold his own and keep the AWP up as well. HellRaisers going to soldier on forward onto a 4th round. Critical juncture there as Cirque stays alive by the skin of his teeth.
You say that, but Cirque not realizing he was blocking his teammate there inside the Molotov. But does survive with the AWP. So in terms of cash, they can go for the bar here potentially. I believe Daps has been dropped over an AK, so they can go for the buy into this one. And for HellRaisers now, 6-4, and they cannot afford to be reset here once again, Harry. If they get reset again, this could easily go 9-4 and 8-4 at the bare minimum, and NRG taking the half on their T side could be monumental before switching over to the CT side defense. Already though from NRG, going towards a long walk into the scope there from Fets, but unable to connect the shot.
Well, he's going to be given a second chance, but instead a chilling breeze blows on through and finds both kills. Angel now rotating up into the A bomb site, but he's not ready. As Breezy continues to have the good times rolling in for NRG. It's just Bondic and Issa left alive, and they've already decided to save. Holding on to these 2 rifles is paramount now for this CT side. NRG going to be finding themselves a 7th round and a chance to keep all 5 players alive to boot.
All 5 players indeed, which is definitely going to be helping them out into the further rounds here. Having the 5 players staying alive means, in terms of cash, if HellRaisers do win the next round, NRG will have enough money to reimburse themselves into round number 12. But so far from NRG, it's looking good. Issa and Bondic just going to be saving here, and Issa only going to have $2,700 into the next round, so they can't afford to drop over some more M4s or to go for a strong force buy. And actually, the cash is in such an awkward position. Dead Fox at 1,500, Fets as well at 1,700, so the real cause for concern here for HellRaisers is, do they go for the save here and try go for a FAMAS buy into the next round? Do they force this one and risk going down 9-4 potentially before the half has even concluded? But anyway, from NRG, clinical plays towards a long, maybe expecting the pistols to be there, not anticipating the AWP there from Fets to be located towards the long toilets. As there's good reason for that. Typically the AWPer is playing on top of the flower pots in a position where he can fall back if he misses.
Yeah, there was no plan B for Fates, and ultimately that was his undoing down in the bathrooms. Still, convincing performance thus far from NRG as they sit 7-4 up on their T side here of Overpass.
7-4 indeed. Still in favour for NRG. And it will be the force buy, I believe. And it is indeed from HellRaisers. P250 from Dead Fox drops over a UMP, I believe, onto Angel as well. So he has got that SMG to work with. Currently playing in towards long. They're anticipating NRG to go for the exact same play in the prior one. And maybe that can be their downfall here. Angel on the last map, Mirage, was so good at outthinking Daps, always having the right, position on the map for his team and making the right calls, always being 1 round ahead, it felt like, in terms of his calling style. And maybe this map is Daps is the one in the driving seat here, feeling comfortable, as this is the map pick, of course, from NRG.
There's this three-man setup down here towards long. Trying to bait them in with the presence of Angel. Then you have tucked away Bondik and Issa. All their firepower, though, is located in this one avenue of the map. And NRG just going to be dodging it for the time being.
Good point to bring up as well. All the firepower is towards A. Obviously on the last map, Mirage, we saw that massive round from Dead Fox towards the B apartments to find 2 frags, but that was with an SMG. This is a P250, a completely different ball game. But aggression from the CT side in towards long toilets is the first frag, and the second as well going in favor of HellRaisers.
And now the jig is up. They're going to go running into Dead Fox. We mentioned the magical double he got in the B-bomb site on Mirage. This time he's only good for 1. That's still going to leave Ethan in a 1 versus 3. The bomb looks to go down. Fates might just beat him to the mark over there towards Graffiti. Ethan peeking up to short, and Bondik going to discover him. Takes his head clean off, and that's the defuse to come on in. HellRaisers, a 5th round secured on the back of a pretty weak buy, all things considered. You can see the AWP going to be carried forward on the back of Bondik. That can be thrown over to Dead Fox or Fates, depending on who wants to wield it heading into this next round. And still going to be money aplenty for NRG, as we just saw that. But was this triple play over at long that was very rewarding for them. Angel finding this double over in mid. A critical piece of the puzzle for HellRaisers. And now 1 round is all it's going to take to put NRG's economy down and on the back foot.
The problem so far for HellRaisers is, so far they've been economically reset twice, and they cannot afford it a 3rd time, as they have. Angel onto $4,000, Fets as well, 2.5k, so he can buy up into the next round, but even then he's only going to have $3.5 or nearly $4,000 to work with, so the buy won't be the strongest. This is a must-win round for the international squad of HellRaisers if they want a chance into the second map and avoiding Train. It does feel like on their CT side there is that lack of that firepower from Woxic with the AWP. Shutting down the A side or rotating in towards B short, shutting down the B tunnel. As with that, your players like Dead Fox, Bondik, Isra as well really have to step up to the market to fill in such shoes. But so far, mid control from NRG as they slowly walk into the crosshair of Feds.
He's holding close and actually takes the fight head on with Breezy. That's going to leave all the pressure in the world on Ethan. And he will just go ahead and fall back. Doesn't opt to stick around and try and trade. He did have the bomb on his back and would have been high and dry over in mid alone. Now this last minute play in towards B looks to come through. One of the first times we've really seen it tested for HellRaisers. Daps finds the opener. Issa and Bondik still reside over here towards Monster, and Bondik continues to put up numbers. More damage in through the smoke. Sark comes rotating in with the AWP in hand, but Bondik looks to deliver everything right now. And Sark back against the wall. It's going to be Dead Fox from the heavens shutting him down. Defuse comes in. HellRaisers managed to hold on to that B-bomb site, find a 6th round to boot. And NRG, not on the back of the bomb plot. They might be good to buy actually here.
Let's take a look at the cash. First round they've lost, so 1,400 plus the 800. So they are going to be sitting at about $2,000. So in terms of a buy, probably not going to be happening there, Harry, but they can go for some pistols like Kevlar and try and see if they can put up quite an upset with those pistols, as obviously we know on this young roster there is so much talent and individual skill to go behind those pistols. But HellRaisers winning a must-win round, and that could be the catalyst for their CT side here on Overpass to try and win the half 8-7. As it will be the quality buy from NRG. Just going to be 4 CZs, 1 P250, and 1 flashbang as well from Daps to try and isolate the players from HellRaisers towards this A site.
Dead Fox up close in middle. You know that he's there. They're going to go charging into these waiting AWPs, desperate to try and take them away, but testing fates over here at long. Angel comes rotating in to help him out. He's in a bit of trouble as Cirque's able to find him, but Angel does mop up both of these frags at the very end, you would imagine. Okay, he's going to go down. Dead Fox is to come in and help out. They lose a little bit more than perhaps they would have liked, but it's the last round of the first half, so that should not matter too much.
7-7. As we head into the final round here of the second map of this best of 3. Winner goes straight into the semi-finals and locks in that top 4 position at ChinaJoy. Only in a couple days. And as we are all squared up into this final round, which team's going to win the half and have that momentum boiling over into round number 16? Ooh, speaking of boiling over, fast rally from NRG as they hot things up towards B.
Yeah, Ethan goes charging in. He's going to peel away. Bondik from behind barrels. Needs Issa to help him out. Maybe not, actually, as Bondik's managed one quick flick out from Issa. Players are up and round from both sides, and Dap's finally going to find him. Not before Angel's in with the trade, leaving Cirque back against the wall. And Dead Fox will punish him. It's going to be an 8th round for HellRaisers there at the end of the first half. 8-7. So convincing start from NRG early on. They went 5-0 up in the early stages of this map. But HellRaisers claw it back and win out the half.
Yeah, this is where you might get scared if you're an NRG fan back home. On Mirage, it was a 10-5 half, and even then it was NRG clawing the last 2 rounds. Angels calling on that T side, especially on Overpass as well. Having casted HellRaisers back at EPL finals. I believe they had a stand-in as well. I think Fetz was actually playing there as well when they had the stand-in. Obviously, Woxic with the visa issues, which still stand. But on the T side of Overpass, for HellRaisers, it's very slow, methodical, and very thought out as well. Connector control is paramount for Angel. Slow control towards B short as well is another thing on the checklist for HellRaisers. So in terms of map control, that's going to be the commodity in this second half. Can they fight for that and use it to their advantage? Obviously, if you have B short control, you can set up that B execution at fast pace. If you have connector control, it allows for the fast rotations, and we know Angel has got those executions in his back pocket. Even though they lack Woxic, they can still pull up this 4-man smokes towards the A site, run back down connector, and get in towards B and try and sell those fakes as best as possible. So, is NRG going to be combating that, or will they let them steamroll through?
Now we can see Daps having a magic stroke of the old beard to try and see NRG through this second map and force a third. That, of course, is going to be Train. Now, I know all you fans of Counter-Strike out there probably hoping that we do get to see map number 3. But HellRaisers building up a lead here. Starting to find their footing there in the end of that first half. Now moving into their T side. And this is where, I mean, if, you kind of feel like having a stand-in almost hurts you even less, right? Normally it's kind of where do you slot them into your CT side setups that causes so many problems. Here, you can kind of just say to East, you go frag, you go hunt down kills wherever, and we'll play our own thing.
Very good point to make there, Harry. Obviously, in terms of plug-and-play, you can do it on that T side. It's not going to be forced into the roles of Woxic, AWPing towards the A side, or on Mirage, AWPing towards middle. Instead of the terrorist side, he can take that back foot, be a bit more independent here, obviously listening to the calls from Angel, but have his own autonomy of himself into this second half. As we go live with round number 16. For NRG, they do not want that momentum to slip up at the final hurdle and to concede the 5-1 lead they had early on in their first half. 6-3 as well they had on their terrorist side. They were looking good, looking points to take this one, maybe 10-5 as well. But HellRaisers with the wealth of experience and the age as well could be a factor. Definitely showing their level-headedness later on to the matchup.
Well, this NRG B-bomb side defense about to be tested. Ethan manages one. Cirque's here to back him up, and they're going to put HellRaisers through the meat grinder. Lands to the slaughter, and Dead Fox trying to answer back. Does find a lot of damage, and he's able to make it a 1v3, but Ethan's there to finish things off and cement that 8th round for NRG. All tied up now, and a chance for them to start to claw their way back into the lead here if they can convert these anti-ecos.
A scary prospect to think about, Harry, is the fact that NRG have now won both pistols on this second matchup, and so far all they have to claim for it is 8 rounds. That means NRG have won 2 pistols, that's 2 rounds, the conversion rounds as well, which had that 3 or 5-0 lead. In terms of buy rounds, there's only been 4 that they've actually won. So going into the latter stages of this second half, is the consistency actually in the half for HellRaisers? Can they fall back on that? But still, a task at hand here for NRG as they are battling versus the upgraded pistols and firepower from HellRaisers. 2 smokes from Dead Fox and Angel can be deployed towards that A site and shroud the vision from the CTs to allow those pistols to get up close.
HellRaisers just grouped up, sneaking through mid. They've cleared out connector as well. That's going to be an interesting avenue of the map to see if they do look to explore. Fugly holding this corner at long. Bit of a one-and-done angle. You're kind of relying heavily on Cirque to help him out. And as that smoke rains in, you can see Cirque's had to push around to the other side of it. This offers is up to the deagle of Angel, but now Fugly pulls through. The rest of the gang barreling in towards the A-bomb site. Daps holding close to flashes. Picture perfect from NRG as they repel back the onslaught of this HellRaisers push. And try as they might, they lose fight after fight. NRG going to be picking up a 9th round. And now it's back to the drawing board for HellRaisers here.
$2,000 across the board for HellRaisers. In that last round, it was the 5-man force buy, which means no chance, unless HellRaisers win this round or pick one up, to have the AWP for Fets into the first buy round of that second half. And that could be pivotal. Does it change their angle of approach? Will they instead opt for heavy utility usage to take map controllers and have the AWP clear out? Will they go for a faster set play? Would they have 5 rifles instead of having an AWP, which they can slow the pace down and allow Fets to go for picks? Those are all questions that should be answered into the next round. As for now, Fugly with the MP9 just clearing up this playground and T-spawn stairs position to farm up the cash.
Oh, he's put himself in a pretty tricky spot, but my goodness, Fugly. He goes aggressive, he makes it work, and they're desperate to take him down. I mean, you're not going to be taking too much away, but he's all the way out there, all on his lonesome. Ripe for the taking versus the Glocks, and Fugly somehow manages to win every single fight that comes his way. But easy street officially over now for NRG. The buy going to be coming through for HellRaisers. It's rifles across the board. The Kalashnikovs, as you so often, like to...
I like that word.
It is a nice word. It is a good word. I'll give you that.
You can get the good vocal inflection of Kalashnikov. It's nice. It is nice. Quite boring when you hear AKs over and over again. But anyway, speaking of repetition, NRG doing quite a strange tactic here when there's no smoke in towards connector. Fets good enough for 1. And the trade frag onto his fallen brethren as Issa picks up the scraps from Ethan. 4 versus 3 as HellRaisers are set outside the B-bomb site. NRG pushing in towards B short, but unfortunately, the real play from HellRaisers is going to be coming in towards Monster. Ooh, or not, actually. HellRaisers want to slow the pace of this round down. This is one of the things, again, I alluded to in the last map where Angel, if he gets that 1-man advantage, he will push, prod, and squeeze every last ounce of success he can get from it. As now he just clears the map out, waiting to see if NRG have pushed to gain information. What they're scared about now is the 3-man stack towards the B site. They've cleared out mid. They're anticipating NRG to still have a player towards A, but they couldn't be further from the truth.
It's Breezy holding close. They line up for him, but he's only good for 1. Now the attention falls to Daps here at short. Bondic tries to run on by, not quite ready, but the round going to be salvaged by Issa as he holds his own. A 9th round up on the tally for 8-Sharp.
Dead Fox just rubbing his hands together. Easy day at the office for him.
See, those little hand warmers, I keep thinking they're rolled up banknotes. I'm like, they're just trying to show off they're that baller just sat there.
Just used to the day rates, aren't you?
Oh, well, timeout called in for 8-Sharp. Interesting choice. They won that round, but they know it was just by the skin of their teeth, and they're clearly not satisfied with it, considering it was the bonus round from NRG.
Breezy is widely regarded in the North American scene as humble and easygoing with a lack of an ego.
I actually played 1 round on stage with him at IEM Sydney.
Oh, here
I
we go.
can confirm.
Oh, yeah, nice guy. What happened
Yeah.
after you whiffed? Was he saying you were, it's okay, mate, we're going to get them in the next round?
You know what, I team flashed everyone.
Okay.
JKS killed all 5 of us.
Oh.
And then they subbed Stewie in for me.
Oh, I remember that. It was at the
yeah.
WW entrance, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, strangely enough, Ethan didn't really have any comment to make.
Well, he's probably quite happy, actually, wasn't he, that you
definitely was.
No offence, obviously.
Oh, it's fine. Team UK lost, so we can just add that to the tally of.
It's not the first time I've heard.
Dropped down with him.
It's not the first time I've heard the UK losing something.
Yikes. Well, man advantage gained for NRG. We'll try and segue on past that.
And try our best not to break our tailbone.
Yikes again. The memes keep on flowing here. Map number 2, 10-9. Man advantage for NRG. They're desperate to try and see this one through to a third map. Daps holding the pillar. Players coming his way. The flash going to rain on in, but it pops a little bit too late. Ethan now with the tall task of trying to trade things out and keep it all even. Going to get wrapped onto from Connector, and that flash is perfect, but it's Breezy sneaking into the back lines of the enemy. Behind enemy lines, he's going to look to try and deny. The bomb plant gets there just in the nick of time, and that's going to free up that much more time now for Fugly and Cirque to rotate on down. Dead Fox and Fate's in a very awkward spot here.
Cirque, shotgun up to find the first and the last frag as well for NRG to claim the 11th round. HellRaisers is going for the contact play. It almost looked like it was going to work then. Dabs towards the pillar. Ethan holding the cross to the site. As soon as he pulls out that flashbang for Daps, HellRaisers cross, they kill Daps. But the flank from Breeze was just too good and too hot for HellRaisers to handle. As it goes 11-9 into the 21st round here. 4 spy from HellRaisers as they have gone for the 3 Deagle setup. P250 for Bondic, backed up by the Caesar as well from Fett, so they have some utility to work with as well. 3 smokes and 3 flashbangs. Apologies, 4 smokes and 3 flashbangs to work with, so they can flash in towards Banana, flash in towards middle, line up their grenades, do that 4 smoke execution on towards the A site, and even fake and go towards B if they wanted to. They have got the lurk from Issa towards B, so that could actually be their game plan. But for now, NRG in the driving seat, especially as well as if they win versus the 4 spy from HellRaisers, they should be greeted by an eco into the 22nd round.
Only this time, NRG, they've usually had 3 players to hold back these B-bomb site pushes. I was going to say that might affect this round, but not if Ethan continues to shut down players over here towards Monster. The Deegs haven't been able to chime back with anything. And now this utility from NRG going to prevail. They smoke off the angle, they maintain this man advantage, they give HellRaisers no means of finding any form of trade. Now the pressure going to fall onto the back of Angel over here towards Long. They're going to try and find something and open up this round, give them a shot into it at the very least, and it will be Fugly to delete him from this mortal plane. Issa and Fate's left alive. They're going to CZ between them. 2 smokes, and that's the bomb drop. Daps get him up at both those frags, makes it look easy. 12-9, and now, as you pointed out, it is going to be the eco from HellRaisers.
We saw in the first matchup of the day, NRG versus 5 Power. It was 11-10. It was a close matchup, and then at that point, NRG just ran away with it and finished the map 16-10. So it feels like we could be shaping up to see that same sort of narrative here, where the game is neck and neck at 11-9, but then NRG pull through. They get the advantage, and they close it up potentially 16-9. But we don't know that, Harry. As we're back into the pause. Just waiting to see how this round or this matchup does conclude, as it seems like we're cemented in for a 3rd map on train.
Yeah, indeed. As I believe we just had another technical problem. We're going to be working hard to resolve that. So, yeah, just received word this should be fixed momentarily. We've just been dropped out from the server, but this gives us a little bit of time at least to mull this one over. Do you think NRG have done it? Do you think we're going to be seeing map number 3?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure NRG now, they've got their footing in this matchup. They're feeling confident. Looking at the scoreboard as well before the game did crash. Daps was towards the bottom. We had Ethan, Fugly, Cirque as well, firing on all cylinders, and that's what we're looking for on this team. The young trio of stars, essentially. The young stars of today are going to be the future veterans of tomorrow. Ethan, Cirque, and Breezy potentially. But anyway, into this matchup, we are back. Our producer wasn't lying. And it's going to be 12-9 and a full eco from HellRaisers. It seems like they just took a slow round, had a breather, maybe spoke about some issues, and trying to see if they can almost recalibrate themselves going forward.
Yeah, they're going to be barreling in through Long now. Cirque, quick triple for him. and it's a silent movie. But,
I like that.
I don't know where I'm going to go with that. I was trying to find a way of nice linking it in. It's just not happening. 13-9 regardless.
They can't all land. They can't all land.
Well, you know what? A moment of silence for the fallen HellRaisers players over at Long. There we go. That works a bit better.
That'll do.
But now the buy comes on in for HR. It's rifles across the board. We're working overtime to get the sound back on. We have Trace and the rest of the production guys back there plugging in wires left and right. Trace is on one of those elliptical machines. Eucalyptical? Just elliptical.
Mate, this is all going over my head.
Yeah.
If I were you, derail this
He's
conversation
cycling
right
as fast as he can. Here's the push in the connector, though, from HellRaisers. They're about to be challenged. Ethan is here, standing on the head of Fugly.
Yeah, this time they made the adjustment. The smoke in towards connector to go for the boost towards B short. Last time it was a 2-for-1 trade in favor of HellRaisers, and NRG aren't going to be making that same mistake. As anticipated, though, HellRaisers with the heavy connector control from Angel and Bondic, allowing for Fetz and Dead Fox to just anchor towards the other half of the map, anticipating or just holding and waiting for some CT aggression, as now they have control towards connector, but at a price and at a cost. First frag was, as you said, found by Cirque towards middle, and the second as well from the boost from Ethan. And so far, it's all falling in favor of NRG.
Yeah, it feels weird watching this without any sound. Do you want to try and give us some foley, foley in the background? Let's see,
not a chance, mate.
Here's,
not a chance.
Fugly.
That's pretty
Oh,
good.
that was actually pretty good. I'll give you that. Okay. 14-9. Fantastic. I can't wait till the gun sound packs get added in and we can get the snod sound effect one.
Do my best Babam impression.
Yeah. Oh, well, 14th round going to be retrieved there by NRG. Just 2 away from taking us through to a third map. For those of you who are just joining us, map number 1 went the way of HellRaisers, and it was a pretty convincing win. Here on Overpass, though, been a different story. You can kind of tell these HR guys, they've fallen out of love with how this is going in the last few rounds. And now their money has run out.
12-9. I believe it was 13-9, though, as NRG did win that last round. So, with the 4-run advantage and cash as well in their back pocket, they can start to take some risks. This could be, early B short control, a push towards along with an AWP potentially from Cirque, or something to try and basically render HellRaisers' game plan useless, make them feel uncomfortable. But even just a buy as well is going to be rather unsettling, as it's just going to be the CZs, the Eagles, P250s once again from HellRaisers, as it seems poised that we are going to see a match point 15-9 scoreline in favor of the North Americans.
Yeah, they try and run the gauntlet in towards A, and actually they've gotten up through mid, so the bomb's going to go down. That's money to work with for HellRaisers. That could be their saving grace looking into this next round. The nades, the artillery starts to rain on in, and it's just Angel with the deagle in hand. It's not happening for him. 15-9 as map point for NRG going to be achieved. They just need one more round and to take us through to train. And there is a little bit of fuel left in the tank for HellRaisers. There's some cash to invest. They've bought up what they can. They can get the AWP out on Fates. Dead Fox, maybe even toying with the idea of bringing one out, but a double AWP setup not going to be most kind of conventional option rather for your T side of Overpass.
Yeah, it basically makes you extremely one-dimensional. If you do go for a double AWP setup on your T side, your game plan is essentially on a clock. You have the first 15, 20 seconds or 30 seconds to get those picks, and then if you fail at that, it's very hard to force yourself into sites with 2 AWPs and only 3 rifles. So it can make you rather gimmicky to go for first kills and hope that the opposition overfaces. But instead, HellRaisers is going for the more conservative play and instead investing into the utility in Kalashnikov instead. But minute 20 off the clock here, Harry. NRG early on going to be playing fairly forward or fairly a foot towards middle. Fugly going to be smoked off towards mid, and this is going to allow for Bondic and co to walk in towards the middle portion of the map. But this opens up the dominance and the prowess of Cirque's AWP.
And I mean, just as, Speaker the Devil is going to find Angel. Now Ethan and Breezy, lying in wait. Daps playing the pillar. And Ethan gets their attention, but now they go running by Breezy. He's only good for one. Will they expect Daps? So they found 2 kills already inside of this B-bomb site. Daps has to go big, and instead he's going to fall short. As Fates picks him up, Bondic round in the corner. And Cirque left in a 1v3 up in the heavens, AWP in hand. Tricky enough to retake with an AWP anyway, but finding herself alone. This is 3 players for HellRaisers. This is anything but ideal. You look over at the economy on NRG, they've got so much money. Cirque can definitely justify poking his head in, see if he can find anything, even if it's just a bit of damage into this HellRaisers economy. And he is going to keep creeping forward, hoping that he can spot something out.
26 frags for Cirque, and to be anticipated, obviously. There's no resistance on the other end from HellRaisers in terms of their primary AWPer being away. Yes, Fetz is standing in here, but AWPing on your terrorist side versus AWPing on your CT side is night and day. You know, the amount of times I've heard players trying to transition into a primary AWP role because they could on the CT side from a secondary AWPer position, and then struggling and having that realization of how difficult it can be on that T side. That's why you have to give respect to AWPers like Guardian, AWPers like Smuya, who are so successful on the terrorist side at basically forcing opening picks.
Well, 15 to 10, and Fugly, aggression in through party, backed up by Cirque and Daps, but they've already lost their front man, the danger man, the one trying to open things up. Oh, they're now going to stick around. They do indeed go barreling through. There's Ethan to find an equalizer. Daps going to go and take that much more, and at this point, they could just concede mid. They've regained control of the map. They've taken a man advantage. And now they can look to back away and maintain this. In the meantime, Dead Fox, realizing 3 players pushed up over him in means that this B-bomb site going to be looking vulnerable. He's pushed on in. Is he ready, though, for Breezy, who's over at the back of Graffiti? He's certainly not. Tagged down to 9 HP. Plenty of time for these rotations to come in. Daps drops in with the nade. And now a 2 versus 4 to keep HellRaisers in this map. NRG, 2 kills is all that separates them. And securing map number 3 in the former train. That's the bomb dropped. An Angel, try as he might. Gonna be shut down. NRG, they get it done here on their map pick of Overpass, 16 to 10.
Scary thoughts now going through the heads of HellRaisers as the star AWPer from NRG performs on Overpass. Does not bode well for them on Train, another map which is notorious for that big green gun.
Certainly is. This is where they're going to need Cirque firing on all cylinders, and if that performance is anything to go by, that might just be the case. That is it, though, for map number 2. We still have Train coming up. HellRaisers, you can see on your screen right there, looking a bit dejected. They're going to have some time now to focus, go back and think about this as we head on through to Train. We'll be back with that and the desk after a break.